So, what's the real secret to teaching a classroom where every single student can actually thrive? Well, that's the big question, right? And today, we're going to dig into the answer. I mean, this is the ultimate question for any educator, isn't it? You walk into a room and it's just buzzing with all these different personalities, strengths, and needs. So how in the world do you design a lesson that actually connects with all of them? Let's figure it out together.
Okay, so first things first, we have to talk about the why. Why does all of this even matter? And the reason is simple. It's the beautiful, chaotic reality of every single classroom. Every learner is unique.
Just take a second and think about your students. They all walk into your classroom carrying their own incredible gifts, their rich backgrounds, their own ways of seeing the world. You know, some are multilingual, some are gifted, some might need specific accommodations. A great teacher doesn't see this as a problem to solve, but as the reality of the room. And it's a reality we can and absolutely should design for.
And this is so important. The goal is not to make everyone the same. It's all about providing equitable access to learning. It's about creating this dynamic environment where every single student has what they need to really dig into the material, to grow their skills, and to know what success feels like.
So if that's our why, then what's the how? Well, a huge part of the answer lies in this really powerful proactive framework called Universal Design for Learning, or UDL. And trust me, this is where things get really exciting. Okay, I know this chart might look a little complex at first glance, but the idea behind it is actually revolutionary and pretty simple. See, UDL isn't about fixing a lesson for a few students after the fact. No, it's a blueprint for designing flexible learning from the very beginning. It's all about proactively removing barriers before they can become a problem for any student. It's a complete shift in perspective. So, UDL is basically built on three big ideas. First up is engagement. That's the why of learning. How do we spark that curiosity and get every student motivated? Second is representation. The what? How can we present information in a bunch of different ways so it just clicks? And third, action and expression. The how. How do we give students different ways to show us what they know?
All right, with that UDL framework in our back pocket, let's get super practical. What are the actual tools and strategies you can start using in your classroom, like tomorrow?
Let's start with assistive technology. These are just incredible tools designed to level the playing field. But you know what? They do so much more than just remove barriers. They actually build student independence and empower them to take charge of their own learning, which, let's be honest, is the ultimate goal.
And the options out there are just vast. We're talking about things like text-to-speech for students who might struggle with reading, or speech-to-text tools for those who find writing a challenge. You've got audiobooks, graphic organizers, even simple things like turning on closed captioning for videos. Each one of these tools opens up a brand new door for a student.
And here's a brilliant, super low-tech tool, sentence stems and frames. Now, they might look pretty similar, but there's a key difference. Stems give students a starting point, right? Like, I agree with because. Frames offer a little more of a scaffold. But both of them, they're fantastic for building academic language and helping every student jump into class discussions with confidence. Another really powerful strategy is offering alternative assignments. Now, the absolute key here is that the learning goal and the rigor stay exactly the same. A student might create a podcast instead of writing an essay, but guess what? They are still demonstrating their understanding of content, how to use evidence, and organization. It's about choice in the how, not watering down the what.
Now, tools and strategies are essential, but true differentiation, it goes deeper. It's about the human element. This is where we connect that big UDL framework to the very heart of the classroom, which is understanding and truly valuing the cultures our students bring with them.
So, to kind of wrap our heads around different motivations, it can be helpful to think about these two cultural archetypes. And let me be clear, this is without ever stereotyping anyone. Individualistic cultures, which are common in the US, often value standing out and individual success. Collectivist cultures, which, by the way, represent about 80% of the world, tend to emphasize relationships and the success of the group. Neither one is better than the other, but recognizing this difference helps us understand why a competitive game might energize one student, while a collaborative project deeply motivates another.
This quote from Zaretta Hammond is just so powerful. I mean, think about it. The U.S. education system is built almost entirely on written traditions, but for so much of the world, knowledge is passed down through storytelling, through conversation. This creates a deep cultural strength in things like memory, connection, and relationships. And those are assets we can and absolutely should be tapping into. So how do we actually put this into practice? You can see a ton of great ideas here, but look at the pattern. Notice how many of them are built around movement, social interaction, call and response. These aren't just fun activities. They are culturally responsive strategies that truly honor the strengths of students from collectivist and oral traditions. All right, we've covered the why, the how, and the what. So I guess the question now becomes, where do you go from here? What's your next step on this journey? This proficiency scale is such a useful map for growth. And I want to be clear, it's not a judgment, it's not a report card. It simply shows the journey from just starting out with these strategies to applying them consistently and eventually innovating with them. The whole point is that there's always a next level to reach for, and every little step forward matters.
And that highest level, innovating, well, it brings us full circle right back to UDL. It's about being intentional. It's about designing your lessons with every student already in mind, preparing materials and activities with the scaffolds they'll need already built right in.
So let's end with this. Look, you don't have to overhaul everything overnight. Just think about tomorrow. What is one small, manageable change you can make? Maybe it's offering an audiobook as a choice, or trying a single sentence stem, or planning just one quick turn and talk. What's that one small step you can take to open a door for one more student?